Hello Big Pete fans, it's the 5th of August, the height of the summer season here in Blighty, and it is wet and it is cold, so cold that I was in my sleeping bag under a duvet last night in the middle of summer, and it's wet and it's raining and it's miserable, and we're getting pretty fed up about this. I know there's no one we can blame, we can't blame anyone for the weather, but that doesn't stop us from being pretty fed up. We've been in some of the most horrific conditions and it's just awful. I know there's a few of you that have been involved in monster trucks. Hello Mike, if you're watching, you always make a comment on the page there. But if you're not involved in monster trucks and you think, yeah, well, what's your problem? The problem is when you get your big old wheels there and they get wet because the ground's wet, and then you try and hit that. I cut myself off there. And you try and hit that head on, like we do, even side on, it doesn't matter. They're just gonna slide. You're gonna slide and fall off and get stuck. And we don't want to get stuck. Who wants to get stuck? But there's no grip. You've got chances of just ruining your day because of the weather, and it's not normally a problem, but this must be the wettest G that I can remember. Michael's so angry about it, he's doing a video about it right now about how angry he is about how wet he is. That will be going up on the Facebook. So apart from my rant, I suppose I might as well tell you what we do when it's raining, which I did in the earlier video. I'll give you a brief intro, but I'll just spin you around. So Big Pete, it's very convenient. It being a very much an old school monster truck, it's all original cab, so it's got all its windows in, so it stays dry. The engine is underneath the bonnet where it should live, and that stays dry. So there's nothing really to worry about with it being out in the weather. We can just wind the windows up and close the door. Although, hilariously, somewhere up there, where the air horns are, there's an hole, and that drips straight onto the chair. So Mike'll be nice and smug, and then he'll get into his monster truck and he'll have a wet seat. Grim Reaper, on the other hand, it being a fiberglass body, open to all the elements. So I developed these side windows, which are only held on with little plastic toggles from Marquis. Let me show you. See, just held on there. And they're pretty good. So when it's really, really, really bad, I'll drive with them in. Or will drive with them in. There's a windscreen there. But the engine, well, thanks to former crew member Ollie, who spent some time working this out, we've got our blanket, which we throw over whenever it's in travel and whenever the weather's bad, because obviously the engine is out to all the elements and you can't have water going into the exhausts or sitting on the things. And well, I needed to have done a better job and try and just protect some of the electronics. So that lives there. Now normally at the show time, which is today, although it's 10 o'clock, the show opens in an hour, we would want to unveil the engine and get rid of the windows because they're not really tidy, so people can have a look and go, oh, look at that engine. But I can't really do that today because it's wet. I don't know if I've mentioned it once or twice. Shall we go and see what Michael's got to say? We just saw you doing your video for Facebook, which will be going up there live, assuming there's no S in Jeff's.
Mine?
Yes.
I want to send you this and you can say to me, Michael, inappropriate.
So I'm doing one for YouTube.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, I didn't know.
So no S in Jeff's.
Right.
So briefly, what did you cover in your video? Because I think I can imagine what you were saying.
I've had a whinge about the world. I've had a whinge about the weather, about which we can do nothing about, but the irony of the two different polar stories, the one that we're living and the one that we're told. And I've just kept people slightly informed of how the year's gone, which has been shocking, where we're going next, and I did some more whinging. And I just want to reiterate, if you watch that video and then this video, this is not the normal Michael. It's been hard work, it's been stressful, it's been wet. Of course, I predominantly live out, so I can't get dry clothes when everything gets soaking, and it just dampens not only the ground but the spirits. That said, I am still living the dream. I do still love driving the monster trucks, and I'm looking forward to today because we get to see Bulldog, and I haven't seen them for ages, and of course Wayne Vander
Over there somewhere. Now, Bulldog do a very good job of showing what being athletic and talented looks like, and they make us feel very bad about being too, well, Greek statues in amongst the show world.
They go to the gym and everything.
Michael lives on the road 24/7, which I covered in the previous video, which means when you wear a set of clothes, if it's dry and sunny, you'll get a couple of days out of them. But if it's wet, well, I'm trying to save your embarrassments because of
I know, a couple of days.
how gross you are. But if it's wet, you don't want to be putting wet clothes on in the morning. So you're just going through all your clothes. And similar for me, if I come on the road and it's a week or so, you're just going through all your clothes so fast until you get to the end of the week and you're like, everything I've got is wet, cold and horrible. So it's just ruins everything. Ah!
Feet. I draw the line at feet.
Wet feet.
Nobody's having wet feet on this team. I'll buy them boots if I have to. Feet must be dry.
Yeah,
everything else wet.
I'm probably going to have to put my boots on because the grass is getting my feet wet.
Dude, you're in trainers.
Yeah, it wasn't a great start, was it? Just to sign off, the last show we did, literally the last show we did, it was so wet that we had to pull out the truck and trailer, unloaded at this point, with Big Pete. And we pulled it out up onto some hard standing so we could load up. And then Grim Reaper had to pull out the van and caravan out of the fields. So we're in situations where we're having to use the monster trucks to pull us out of the fields so we could get loaded and go on to the next show. So, yay! British weather, love it. So, until next time, hopefully I'll be coming to you from the beautiful island of Guernsey, which is on the outskirts of northern France, and hopefully it will be beautifully warm and I'll be complaining that I'm too hot. Here's to hoping. Until next time, peace out, love you all.